whether the man who wounded me belonged to the warrior caste or to the Brahmin caste. Learnt whether he was tall, short, or of middle height. Was black, dusky, or of yellow skin. Was from this or that village or town or city. Whether it was an ordinary arrow or a claw-headed arrow, that man would die without ever having learnt this. And in another dialogue the Buddha stated, the religious life does not depend on the dogma that the world is eternal or not eternal, infinite or finite, that the soul and the body are identical or different, or the dogma that the saint exists or does not exist after death. It profits not. Nor has it to do with the fundamentals of religion, nor does it tend to absence of passion, to supreme wisdom, and nirvana. The commentary. Today I will take up the first case in Mumonkan, entitled Joshu on the inherent nature of a dog. I will read the koan proper and then Mumon's comment. A monk in all seriousness asked Joshu, has a dog Buddha nature or not? Joshu retorted Mu. Mumon's comment. In the practice of Zen you must pass through the barrier gate set up by the Dharma ancestors. To realize this wondrous thing called enlightenment, you must cut off all discriminating thoughts. If you cannot pass through the barrier and exhaust the arising of thoughts, you are like a ghost clinging to the trees and grass. What then, is this barrier set by the ancestors? It is Mu, the one barrier of the supreme teaching. Ultimately it is a barrier that is no barrier. One who has passed through it can not only see Joshu face to face but can walk hand in hand with the whole line of ancestral teachers. Indeed, one can, standing eyebrow to eyebrow, hear with the same ears and see with the same eyes. How marvelous! Who would not want to pass through this barrier? For this you must concentrate day and night, questioning yourself through every one of your bones and pores. Do not construe Mu as nothingness and do not conceive it in terms of existence or non-existence. You must reach the point where you feel as though you had swallowed a red-hot iron ball that you cannot disgorge despite your every effort. When you have cast away all illusory thoughts and discriminations, and inside and outside are as one, you will be like a mute who has had a dream but is unable to talk about it. Once you burst into enlightenment you will astound the heavens and shake the earth. As though having captured the great sword of General Koan. You will be able to slay the Buddha should you meet him and he obstruct you and dispatch all Dharma ancestors you encounter should they hinder you. Facing life and death, you are utterly free. In the 6 realms of existence and the 4 modes of birth you move about in a samadhi of innocent delight. How then, do you achieve this? Devote yourself to Mu energetically and wholeheartedly. If you continue this way without intermission, your mind will, like a light flashed on in the dark, suddenly become bright. Wonderful indeed. Mumon's verse. A dog, Buddha nature. This is the presentation of the whole, the absolute imperative. Once you begin to think has or has not, you are as good as dead. The protagonist of this koan is Joshu, a renowned Chinese Zen master. I think it would be better to refer to him as the patriarch Joshu. Inasmuch as my commentary on today's koan will be quite long, I shall omit telling you the facts of Joshu's life. Suffice it to say he was, as you all know, a great Zen master. While there are numerous koans centering around him, without a doubt this one is the best known. Master Mumon worked zealously on it for 6 years and finally came to self-realization. Evidently it made a deep impression on him, for he placed it first in the collection of his 48 koans. Actually there is no particular reason why this koan should be first. Any of the others could have been placed at the head just as well. But Mumon's feeling for it was so intimate that he naturally put it at the very beginning. The first line reads, a monk in all seriousness asked Joshu, that is, his question was neither frivolous nor casual but deeply considered. The next portion, has a dog Buddha nature or not? Raises the question. What is Buddha nature? A well-known passage in the Nirvana Sutra states that every sentient being has Buddha nature. The expression every sentient being means all existence. Not alone human beings, but animals, even plants, are sentient beings. Accordingly, a dog, a monkey, a dragonfly, a worm equally have Buddha nature according to the Nirvana Sutra. In the context of this koan, however, you may consider the term as referring only to animals. What then is Buddha nature? Briefly, the nature of everything is such that it can become Buddha. Now, some of you, thinking there is something called the Buddha nature hidden within us, may inquire as to the whereabouts of this Buddha nature. You may tend to equate it with conscience, which everyone, even the wicked, is presumed to possess. You will never understand the truth of Buddha nature so long as you harbor such a specious view. Master Dogen interpreted this expression in the Nirvana Sutra to mean that what is intrinsic to all sentient beings is Buddha nature. And not that all sentient beings have something called the Buddha nature. Thus in Dogen's view there is only Buddha nature, nothing else. In Buddhism, Buddha nature is an intimate expression and Dharma nature an impersonal one. But whether we say Buddha or Dharma nature, the substance is the same. One who has become enlightened to the Dharma is a Buddha. Hence Buddha arises from Dharma. The Diamond Sutra says that all Buddhas and their enlightenment issue from this Dharma. Dharma, it follows, is the mother of Buddhahood. Actually there is neither mother nor son, for as I have said, it is the same whether you say Buddha or Dharma. What is the Dharma of Dharma nature? Dharma means phenomena. What we ordinarily term phenomena. That is, what is evident to the senses. In Buddhism is called Dharma. The word phenomena, since it relates only to the observable features without implying what causes them to appear, has a limited connotation. These phenomena are termed dharmas simply because they appear neither by accident nor through the will of some special agency superintending the universe. All phenomena are the result of the operation of the law of cause and effect. They arise when causes and conditions governing them mature. When one of these causes or conditions becomes altered, these phenomena change correspondingly. When the combination of causes and conditions completely disintegrates, the form itself disappears. All existence being the expression of the law of cause and effect, all phenomena are equally this law, this Dharma. Now, as there are multiple modes of existence, so are there multiple dharmas corresponding to these existences. The substance of these manifold dharmas we call Dharma nature. Whether we say Dharma nature or use the more personal term Buddha nature, these expressions refer to one reality. Stated differently, all phenomena are transformations of Buddha or Dharma nature. Everything by its very nature is subject to the process of infinite transformation. This is its Buddha or Dharma nature. What is the substance of this Buddha or Dharma nature? In Buddhism it is called Ku Shunyata. Now, Ku is not mere emptiness. It is that which is living, dynamic, devoid of mass, unfixed, beyond individuality or personality. The matrix of all phenomena. Here we have the fundamental principle or doctrine or philosophy of Buddhism. For the Buddha Shakyamuni this was not mere theory but truth which he directly realized. With the experience of enlightenment, which is the source of all Buddhist doctrine, you grasp the world of Ku. This world, unfixed, devoid of mass, beyond individuality or personality, is outside the realm of imagination. Accordingly, the true substance of things, that is, their Buddha or Dharma nature, is inconceivable and inscrutable. Since everything imaginable partakes of form or color, whatever one imagines to be Buddha nature must of necessity be unreal. Indeed, that which can be conceived is but a picture of Buddha nature, not Buddha nature itself. But while Buddha nature is beyond all conception and imagination, because we ourselves are intrinsically Buddha nature, it is possible for us to awaken to it. Only through the experience of enlightenment, however, can we affirm it in the heart. Enlightenment therefore is all. Once you realize the world of Ku, you will readily comprehend the nature of the phenomenal world and cease clinging to it. What we see is illusory, without substance, like the antics of puppets in a film. Are you afraid to die? You need not be. For whether you are killed or die naturally, death has no more substantiality than the movements of these puppets. Or to put it another way, it is no more real than the cutting of air with a knife, or the bursting of bubbles, which reappear no matter how often they are broken. Having once perceived the world of Buddha nature, we are indifferent to death since we know we will be reborn through affinity with a father and a mother. We are reborn when our karmic relations impel us to be reborn. We die when our karmic relations decree that we die. And we are killed when our karmic relations lead us to be killed. We are the manifestation of our karmic relations at any given moment, and upon their modification we change accordingly. What we call life is no more than a procession of transformations. If we do not change, we are lifeless. We grow and age because we are alive. The evidence of our having lived is the fact that we die. We die because we are alive. Living means birth and death. Creation and destruction signify life. When you truly understand this fundamental principle, you will not be anxious about your life or your death. You will then attain a steadfast mind and be happy in your daily life. Even though heaven and earth were turned upside down, you would have no fear. And if an atomic or hydrogen bomb were exploded, you would not quake in terror. So long as you became one with the bomb, what would there be to fear? Impossible. You say. But whether you wanted to or not, you would perforce become one with it, would you not? By the same token, if you were caught in a holocaust, inevitably you would be burnt. Therefore become one with fire when there is no escaping it. If you fall into poverty, live that way without grumbling. Then your poverty will not be a burden to you. Likewise, if you are rich, live with your riches. All this is the functioning of Buddha nature. In short, Buddha nature has the quality of infinite adaptability. Coming back to the koan, we must approach the question: has a dog Buddha nature or not? With caution, since we do not know whether the monk is ignorant or is feigning ignorance in order to test Joshu. Should Joshu answer either it has or it has not, he would be cut down. Do you see why? Because what is involved is not a matter of has or has not. Everything being Buddha nature, either answer would be absurd. But this is Dharma dueling. Joshu must parry the thrust. He does so by sharply retorting Mu. Here the dialogue ends. In other versions of the dialogue between Joshu and the monk, the latter continues by inquiring, why hasn't a dog Buddha nature when the Nirvana Sutra says all sentient beings do have it? Joshu countered with, because it has ignorance and attachment. What this means is that the dog's Buddha nature is not other than karma. Acts performed with a delusive mind produce painful results. This is karma. In plainer words, a dog is a dog as a result of its past karmas conditioning it to become a dog. This is the functioning of Buddha nature. So do not talk as though there were a particular thing called Buddha nature. This is the implication of Joshu's Mu. It is clear, then, that Mu has nothing to do with the existence or non-existence of Buddha nature but is itself Buddha nature. The retort Mu exposes and at the same time fully thrusts Buddha nature before us. Now while you may be unable fully to understand what I am saying, you will not go astray if you construe Buddha nature in this wise. Buddha nature cannot be grasped by the intellect. To experience it directly you must search your mind with the utmost devotion until you are absolutely convinced of its existence, for, after all, you yourself are this Buddha nature. When I told you earlier that Buddha nature was impersonal, devoid of mass, unfixed, and capable of endless transformation, I merely offered you a portrait of it. It is possible to think of Buddha nature in these terms, but you must understand that whatever you can conceive or imagine must necessarily be unreal. Hence there is no other way than to experience the truth in your own mind. This way has been shown, with the greatest kindness, by Mumen. Let us now consider Mumen's comment. He begins by saying, in the practice of Zen, Zazen, receiving Dakyuzen, that is private instructions, hearing Teisho. These are all Zen practice. Being attentive in the details of your daily life is also training in Zen. When your life and Zen are one, you are truly living Zen. Unless it accords with your everyday activities, Zen is merely an